Jenny McCafferty for the Michigan Golfer. We're at Oakland Hills, who will be hosting championship. Oakland Hills has hosted many major Today is a preview of that 116th U.S. Amateur. From the USGA, Ben Kimball, who's the director of the U.S. Amateur Championship, reviewed some of the things that will be part of the course setup for the 116th U.S. Amateur Championship.
The USGA is thrilled to be bringing this country's oldest golf championship, one that is even a day older than the U.S. Open, back to Michigan for a fourth time into a golf course that has crowned so many worthy USGA champions. The most coveted title in all of amateur golf will be contested just outside these doors, and one lucky player will forever have their name associated with the likes of Bobby Jones, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, Bryson DeChambeau, and several other great names that grace the Havemeyer Trophy. 10 national championships have been conducted here. Names like Ben Hogan, Gene Littler, Andy North, Cyril Walker, and Steve Jones are just a few that have won here, and we look forward to adding one more name to the distinguished list of USGA champions in a few short weeks. Though the U.S. Amateur Championship will be decided on the Donald Ross designed South course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the wonderful North course that was recently renovated in 2013 will serve as the stroke play co-host for our National Amateur this year. These two outstanding golf courses make Oakland Hills Country Club one of the top 36-hole golf facilities in all of the world. Over 7,300 players from around the globe filed an entry into the U.S. Amateur Championship this year. And as Pete mentioned, qualifying is taking place at 99 different locations across the United States. And with that being said, for the first time in championship history, we are also conducting qualifying in Mexico and Canada. I'll be traveling out to Vancouver, British Columbia on this coming Sunday to witness that first ever qualifier held in Canada. I'm certainly excited about that. It just goes to show you that golf is truly a global sport. We look forward to wrapping up qualifying in the next week or so to get our championship field to 312 players. The goal of the U.S. Amateur is to identify the best amateur golfer on a great golf course under difficult conditions. A U.S. Amateur course needs to challenge a competitor's physical ability while also testing their mental stability. A monster, perhaps. We'd like to talk a little bit further about the South course and some of the particular setup characteristics that you will see implemented at Oakland Hills Country Club during the championship week. We intend to present a firm and fast golf course, weather permitting, of course. And we at the USGA talk about firm and fast conditions often. And that is simply because we believe the players should have to contemplate at certain times throughout their round what their ball is going to do when it hits the ground. When the golf course is firm, it places an increased value on shot making and course management. So we will leave it to Mother Nature to determine whether or not we can deliver on our intentions of presenting a firm and fast golf course. Now, most of you have seen that the golf courses themselves, yardages will play at over 7,300 yards par 70 on the South course and over 6,800 yards par 70 on the North course. I think it's important for everybody to know that those numbers are simply just numbers. Our desired strategy will allow us to use different teeing grounds, and obviously when you balance that out with specific hole locations, it's likely that we'll never play either golf course to its maximum length. It's a match play championship after all. The South course, which normally placed to a different par for the Oakland Hills membership will be converted to a par 70 by changing a few holes into long par 4s. This is nothing new to the club, as these changes were in place for previous championships, including the 2008 PGA Championship here at Oakland Hills. As far as changes that have been made to the North Course in preparation for this year's U.S. Amateur, I would say there were really none requested from a USGA standpoint. But a recent course renovation carried out in 2013 involved a variety of things. Some new teeing grounds, some new fairway bunkers being reworked, some fairways that were widened in certain areas, along with some drainage work throughout the golf course. And lastly, some selective but strategic tree removal was completed in order to promote turf health in a variety of areas. So with all that being said, you can see that Oakland Hills has gone the extra mile to ensure not only top playing conditions for the U.S. Amateur competitors, but for the wonderful membership here at Oakland Hills as well. There will be graduated rough on a variety of holes on the South Course, which has become a common practice of the U.S. Amateur in the last few years. The first cut of primary rough will be a 12 to 16 foot pass outside the intermediate rough height at a height of 3 inches, followed by a second cut of primary rough in the 4 to 5 inch range. On some of the mid to shorter holes on the South Course, you will likely see only one cut of primary rough, which will begin in the 4 to 5 inch range, like on hole number 6 on the South, to be specific. I'm sure that all of you will get an opportunity today to experience some of these healthy areas while you're playing the golf course. You will get a first look at how we intend to put a heavy premium on driving the golf ball in play during the U.S. Amateur. A couple of pivotal holes for you to watch, particularly on the South Course during the championship, would be as follows. The opening hole of the round will quickly focus players on the task at hand. The par 4 first hole runs adjacent to the Oakland Hills Major Champion Walk of Fame, which certainly adds a few more butterflies to the stomach before teeing up. When players reach number 1 green, they will get their taste of these very challenging Donald Ross greens. The par 4 6th hole is likely to be set up on certain match play days to allow players to go for the green off the tee. But if you're familiar with the 6th hole at all, what might appear to be a birdie opportunity at first could turn south very quickly. You will see the beautiful par 3 9th hole that backs right up here to the clubhouse play anywhere from 250 yards down to 165 yards, depending on weather conditions and our desired hole location strategy. This will certainly be a good hole to watch during the championship. And a few to mention on the back 9, the par 5 12th hole, playing at 592 yards, is a beastly hole that puts a premium on driving the ball in play, and it is likely to be a true 3-shot hole for a majority of the players. In USGA championships, par 5s tend to yield more birdies than any other holes, but wait until you step up on this green complex today, because you may discover that simply making par is one heck of an accomplishment. The par 4 16th hole, we envision using a short tee option in some of the match play rounds to entice players late in the match to have to go at this green. Will a player down in his match try and make a light push here to continue on? We'll just have to wait and see. Expect to see the treacherous par 3 17th hole play anywhere from 237 yards down to 200 yards for the championship. This demanding hole has been influential in a lot of past championships here at the club, and I foresee a lot of matches not getting beyond this point. But if they do, the converted par 5 to 4 18th hole will provide all the finishing hole drama we could ask for. In my opinion, this is one of the toughest par 4 finishing holes in all of golf. All in all, I would expect the South Course to put up a very, very stern but fair fight, and the player that will prevail will be the one that makes smart decisions, drives the ball in play, and putts with control. We envision putting green speeds to be in the range of 12.5 to 13.5 feet for the championship, and we'll constantly monitor those speeds throughout the week to ensure that playing conditions remain as consistent as possible from day to day. We will continue to analyze specific golf course setup specifications, including rough heights, as we approach August, and I look forward to spending considerable time on these putting greens the next 2 days as we begin to identify those great match play hole locations that we know exist here at Oakland Hills. Several of you in the room I've heard me say this before, but there's one final component that comes into play in every USGA golf course setup that is worth mentioning. You won't ever read about it or hear about it, but the players themselves will definitely feel it. No matter where we put the tees or hole locations during the championship, the sheer pressure of winning a national championship will suddenly affect every decision and every swing a player makes down the stretch. We can't predict or dictate when that pressure sets in, but I guarantee you the monster will have a hand in it. To wrap up, let me say again how excited we are to be in Michigan for this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. We are thrilled with where both golf courses are currently and look forward to being back here in a few short weeks. Just a few thank yous from my end to Mr. Jewett and his host committee. Thank you for everything you guys have done to get us to this point. If you can't tell already, this committee is very organized and, as Lee said, ready to roll. So we look forward to being back in a few short weeks to get this thing going. Certainly couldn't do what we're doing here without the support of the Oakland Hills Country Club membership. Mr. Hildebrand, your membership has been outstanding. We look forward to spending more time with them in the weeks ahead. And obviously Chris Berlin, Pat Croswell, Steve Brady, you guys are world class. We look forward to going through this experience with all of you. Thank you, and please thank all of your staff for us. We're excited about the weeks ahead. And last but certainly not least, I'd just like to personally thank Steve Cook, Mike Mossoff, and Andy Giannino, and the rest of the Oakland Hills ground staff for all that they have done and continue to do to get us ready to crown our next national amateur champion. Thank you all again for joining us at the 2016 U.S. Amateur Preview. We hope your experience with our country's oldest national championship is a memorable one. Thank you.